I mean, how about that? 300,000 each, 600,000 if your name's Max Holloway. Max Holloway, I want to talk more about this. The doors that he has opened, you know, the opportunities that he now has before him is phenomenal. It's just incredible. Listen, never mind as a person. Let's remember, it wasn't that long ago. The narrative around Max Holloway was Hall of Famer, former champion, one of the best featherweights ever to do it, but his championship days are probably behind him. He's the second best featherweight. Then Topuria comes along and, well, he can't beat Volkanovski. He probably won't beat Topuria. Shouldn't be stepping in there with Justin Gaethje because that's just crazy. Knocks him out in the fight of the night, fight of the year, one of the best, most cinematic, high drama fights you'll ever see. And now, look at the options. He could stay at 155, potentially fight for a belt soon. He's now a BMF champion. He has a potential fight with Ilia Topuria because I think now, and then by the way, I'll go back to that point in a second. And also a red panty night against Conor McGregor for the BMF belt if he still has it at the time. So there's tons of opportunities, massive amounts of money to be made, and just flipped the script completely. You know, I don't think anybody ever disrespected Max Holloway. They always knew how good he was, but it was like, his championship days maybe were done. But now it's like he could be a champion of multiple weight classes. He could even go up to 170 and do big things there. What would you like to see him do?
I mean, the McGregor fight cropped up across my timeline. He was talking to some reporter at the airport in Hawaii, and he mentioned McGregor as his number one option. I mean, he is going to need some time off. He said that after the Gaethje fight, that ate up his legs, gonna need some rest and recovery. Max doesn't usually fight more than once or twice a year anyway, so no rush for him to get back in there. He's got some time with McGregor at 303. And tell me what's a better story for McGregor, right? Because Max Holloway just hit crossover status. Right? I was listening to Bill Simmons, a massive like mainstream sports podcast on the way in, and that's what he was like. He kept teasing that the whole episode. He was so excited to talk about it. This guy is getting talked about on way more places than either of the champions at 155 or 170. So he makes the most sense for McGregor too.
I want to talk about Justin Gaethje. I was saying before, he loaded up with every shot and kind of telegraphed his shots. That was a bit, and listen, I've got a tremendous amount of respect for Justin Gaethje. Whether or not he was talking a little bit of crap after I commentated Usman versus Leon, I said at the time, that's just him being a good teammate, and I respect that. And then when I said that Dustin Poirier was probably going to be next for Islam Makhachev, and that upset him, well, that fight is made. We're going to talk about that in a bit. And then when I justified it, he said, oh, Bisping's talking bollocks. Well, I wasn't talking bollocks, was I? I wasn't. Justin Gaethje isn't going to be fighting Islam Makhachev, but he's still one of the most exciting fighters in all the sport, and he'll be back. I just think he underestimated the threat of Max Holloway. I think he thought that he would go right through him without a scratch and then challenge for the belt. And if he had done that, then maybe he would have done, you know, because they didn't make the fight, from what I understand, between Poirier and Islam until Saturday night, and they actually offered it to Arman Sarukian first, and Sarukian turned it down, injuries, whatever. Maybe he wants a full training camp, doesn't want a quick turnaround. So then they went to Dustin Poirier. So that's well done to Dustin Poirier. For Justin Gaethje, though, yeah, I just think he underestimated Max, and you just can't do that in this sport, not against somebody like Max.
I agree. There is part of me, though, that thinks going into that second round, Gaethje kind of had him where he wanted him, until he ate that spinning back kick that broke his nose. And I think that did change the whole complexity of the fight.
That was the end of the first round. He didn't have him where he wanted. He was getting outpointed. Then he got his nose broke. Then he got pieced up. Then he got picked apart. Then he got shot to the body. Then he got a right hand to the face. Then he got wobbled. Then he almost got finished. Then he almost got finished again. Then he got poked in the eye twice, which is a shame. Max didn't do that on purpose. I'm not shitting on Justin Gaethje. I think he's phenomenal, and I'm a big fan, and I always will be, regardless of what he says. He's just a proud man. But Max Holloway was phenomenal.